Hi. We're live. That's my temperature. Alive.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to have a fantastic time. Nikki is going to join us shortly. All right, so ask your questions, put it in the message. Any questions, anything you would like to ask Penny, myself, or Nikki, as we just talk. Okay?
Yeah, we're just
gonna talk.
Call your neighbors and your friends, send the link, tell them real niceness happening on the Facebook Live now. So we're giving you 2 minutes. So send your friends the link, tell your neighbor.
Tell everybody
that we're happening.
Yes.
That we are happening now on the live.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
We're going to have a great evening.
Yes.
Penny, Nikki, and I are just going to talk about Mom a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the book.
Yes.
I told Penny and Nikki, ask me anything about the book, anything at all, because I'm sure when they ask me the questions, it will also answer some of your questions, right?
Yeah.
So we are going to get started in just a couple of minutes.
Yes.
A couple of minutes. So get ready, get a glass of water, as I did.
Right. I forgot mine over there. Yes, I am drinking water. Believe it.
I know. I was like, Penny, what do you want to drink? Water is fine. I'm like, okay.
Yes,
So we are just sipping on some cold water.
Thank you,
Dr. Saf.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so we are just about to get ready in a couple of seconds as we are just going to talk about my book, The Master Guide to Leadership Through the Lens of Care.
I love that name.
You got it.
I know the BS start yet earlier, but
That's okay. That's okay.
I was like, how she get that name, Leadership Through the Lenses? It's so perfect.
Oh my God.
You don't think about it, but leadership and care, people never thought that they would mesh.
Yeah.
Because leadership is always viewed as but then you put in this lovely face, this angelic face. Leadership.
Care.
So I mean that,
So care for me, Penny, has always been my core. And I got that from Mommy.
Yeah.
And I found that has been my differentiator in everything that I do. People are always like, Akka, how do you get your team to be so motivated and so engaged? And I've always said it's about how you care for people.
Yeah.
And we have to move away as leaders as this autocratic, colonial kind of do this, here we roll, jump how high.
Yeah.
That is not even appropriate. Yeah. So that's how I came about with the care and that's the root of it. So, well, we already started kind of sort of. So we're going to just start. So Penny, I could not do this without you and Nikki. Because, I mean, y'all were just such an integral part in Mommy's life.
Yeah.
And I know if Mommy was here, she would be here.
Hello, the only reason I'm here is because I'm afraid you'd pull my foot. She might come and pull my foot. So I said, Penny, find yourself up
in Akka's house.
In Akka's house.
Bless the Lord.
Yes. So no. But your mother would be so supportive. She must be so smiling now. She was always so proud of you.
Yeah.
So proud of you. And sometimes she used to say, we started, right?
Yeah.
She said, God, Penny, I hope people don't feel that I love Ola more than Akka, but they're my two children and I love them equally.
Yeah.
And because, you were in college, right, for a long time.
Correct.
And so we used to line all those times, so. And Ola was there, Ola was the baby, so he was always around.
Correct.
And mothers and sons, no matter what.
Yeah.
But she loved her brother. She was so proud of you. And the tennis scholarship that she went away on. And she would be so boastful of her daughter. And she was always wanting the best for you. And this book is like, wow, my room. Yes, your children, you're just making your mother proud. And Ola.
That is something that I always wanted to ensure. Because being a single mother, as you know, Mommy put 100% into everything. Ola went to London, I went to Miami. Because she wanted to ensure we got the best.
Yes.
So as I always tell Ola, if it's not for you, then do it for mom. Do it for mom's memory, her legacy, you know.
Her hard work.
Her hard work.
Yes. Many nights she be in Central Bank or we be in a rehearsal, you know, and then she get up in the morning to sell insurance or to teach her holy name, you know, because she went back and forth, you know. So she was always working.
And it's just, so that's just how care and, you know, you mentioned something. When I was growing up, because I was always one of the shy ones,
yes.
I would tell mommy, don't call my name on the radio. You could just say you have a daughter. Right? You could call Ola's name. I said you could call Ola's name, but just say you have a daughter, right? You don't have to say my name. And it's just, but she always used to say, Akka, but I'm so proud of you. I want everybody to know. But I was just like, Mom, I don't like this limelight.
Yeah, you make her sing as the light is shining on her face. I don't like this limelight. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, you were never the one that upstart, but not Mr. Ola. He was completely different.
Every day was a performance.
Yes, Ola Baden was a performance.
That's so true.
It's a performance, you know.
That's so true. So we are just waiting on Nikki to get connected. Nikki is actually at home, so we're going to connect with Nikki just now. So Penny and I are just going to talk, and then Nikki's going to just come in, and we are going to chat, So for me, Penny, limelight. Who would have thought I would be doing a video? Like, I'm doing interviews and
exactly.
I'm like, you know, but you know what I have found is, you know, and I'm passionate, when God gives you a talent, it's not to hide it.
Exactly.
And I just had to be obedient. I'm like, okay, God, you know you're going to have to stay right next to me because this is not me.
Right.
I feel so vulnerable.
Yeah, but you look so relaxed and you look, and the thing about it too, you know what it is? It's passion.
Yeah.
You're passionate about your book.
Yeah.
You're passionate about, and it's like me, I'm passionate about the next play I'm doing. It's called Threesome Funsome. It's opening at the Little Caravan.
Little lad.
We played the first and the second. No, it's just about, you know, it's when you're passionate about something, you want to go all out. And that's what I like about you and this book, because I saw you on TV6 and on CNC3, and you spoke with such heart. And when the little bit I know about the book, and I'm like, God, how can people really get this book and know this book? Because what you're saying is so true, so true about leadership. Is so, you know, and it's really, I really hope that people seek it out. Get this book. Get the link. There's a link that you can go and you can purchase the book, pre-order the book. You know, because it's important, because sometimes we have this view of leadership as being, you know, militant and you put just another look to it, another spin on leadership. So what kind of leader were you before this book?
To be honest, I've always been this. I've always been, even from TSCT when I worked before, and that comes again from mommy. Mommy always told me I could treat people with dignity and respect, regardless of the level, regardless of if it's a security officer or your admin assistant or anybody, just treat them with respect. And so that's always been me. It's my DNA. But what really stood out is because I work at Hyatt now, hospitality. Care is like, you know, I'm asking you to leave your home to come and sleep in our bedroom, you know. So care has been a part of who I am. And I'm fortunate to be in an organization where our purpose is to care for people so they could be their best. And so
you have their support as well.
Absolutely, too. My GM, Richard Westall, read the book and he loved it. I sent it to my VP and my senior vice president in the corporate office in Chicago. So they all are excited, and you know, it's just about another hired person just sharing, and it's about sharing knowledge. You know, sometimes people hold on to knowledge because they feel that power. And I mean, in all business, you know, because, you know, I as a young producer coming out, you know, you don't know numbers, you don't know Nikki.
you don't know, you don't sponsor numbers, and you don't know how to get furniture, you don't know how to get this, you don't know, and then people were so holding on to their stuff. You wouldn't get any help from producers, and it's up to you now to go and find it yourself. You know, so that act kind of helped motivate and push me to get it on my own.
Right.
But even when like the young people ask me about getting a number for a sponsor, it's nothing for me to give it away. Why am I holding on to things? Why,
we have to go past that holding on. We have to leave a legacy for our children and for our children's children. You know. So it's just been a really amazing journey, and I just want to continue to get the support of people in Trinidad, Tobago, the Caribbean, the UK, the US, Nigeria, Brazil, everywhere in the world. So this book really is, how do you navigate, especially in this crisis as a leader? How do you equip yourself? Because care now, Penny, is even more critical.
Of course.
You know, we have single mothers who have children in school. How do you work and be productive? And
the children are home.
Correct.
So they have to leave the children at home now. I mean, we are really in a crisis.
And this book, Penny, will help navigate, even for a mother.
Single mother, right. She could read this book and
someone from Miami actually messaged me and said, Akka, you know, this book is for me. I realized how I speak to my daughter. I have to change it. Because my book talks about as well tone.
Exactly.
It's how you communicate. What is important, but your how. If I say, Penny, how you going? And then I scream at you. How do you respond? So the book goes through how you are cognizant of your tone and your pitch.
Tell me something. Have you dealt with, well, we're talking about leaders, I suppose to say they'll be the followers or employees. How do you deal with employees who used to that kind of hardcore kind of aggressive approach? And then you come now, hi, good morning.
You know what? Initially they're like, at first people said this could never be true. You were like this all the time. And then when they realize they work with me every day, good morning, how are you? How's your weekend? How are your kids going? And they're like, Akka, this is really who you are. I said, I have to be authentic. And even if it's not my natural state, I have to adapt as a leader.
Of course.
Because we lead people. We have to love people. So I have inculcated this, Penny, into my DNA. This is just who I am. You know what I mean? And every day I practice care.
How could you change? You think you could change leaders who have been doing one way of leadership for their life? How do you think? You think they could change?
Yeah, you have to. You could do all things, right? I mean, the Bible talks about you could do all things through Christ, right? You could learn and unlearn any behavior. People have been socialized. For instance, I grew up in Belmont. I was exposed to drugs. I was exposed to crime. I was exposed to all things. But I made a decision that I would not be a product of the environment. I took the good from the environment. I love Belmont. Always will, never will deny it. But it's how passionate you are about learning and unlearning behavior. And it's the same thing with leaders. You know, you could have a particular style, but if you really want to engage and motivate your team, you're going to have to adjust.
Of course.
Because leadership by fear doesn't work.
Of course
it
not.
Just does not work.
And you know, you get people to want to work.
And that's the same productivity goes up.
So because it could be a joy to come to work. You know, and some people still really want to rule with fear. And I really hope that you could give this book a chance.
That's perfect. Give the book a chance. Because it's something new. Like everything. If you put on a pair of new shoes, it hurts initially. And then when you get comfortable, in our 4 or 5 inch heels, we can walk, right?
Of course.
It's the same thing with being a leader and changing. Uncomfortable. You might feel like, oh my God, this is not natural.
Say good morning, boy.
Say good morning. Why have to say good morning? Which I'm always amazed at, because that's how we were brought up, right? Our grandparents. You could walk in Edith Bradshaw house and not say good morning.
Hello.
Like, you slept here?
We sleep together, you know?
So it's just, and that's a great question, Penny. How could you learn and unlearn? You have to have a desire. If you have the will, you could do all things. So you have to practice. That's what it's about. And this book is 19 chapters.
Wow, yeah.
And it goes through what competencies you need. How do you partner with HR? How do you navigate in a crisis? How do you lead from the back?
Yeah.
And a lot of people lead from the back. What do you mean? Leading from the back simply means you're always pushing people to their potential. And you use your knowledge, your skills to push people. And that's what it means. It's just about unveiling people's potential. You peel it like an onion, peel it, but it's how, it's your leadership style. So it's really been an amazing journey. It really has been. And this book, so as you know, I entered a competition, Converstaions.com. That's PUBLISHIZER. And you pre-order the book on that website. And it's $25 US. That includes shipping and handling. But what I want to talk today about, Penny, is the bonuses.
I'm getting a bonus?
You're getting a bonus. You were getting a bonus.
Nice.
You know, I'm not Oprah. You're not getting a car. It's a bonus.
It's a bonus. Okay, thank you. I take them whatever I can get these days.
So let me talk about these bonuses. So what I've offered are 4 different training sessions, complimentary, right?
Nice.
These sessions I would normally charge for. I actually did one with Dr. Safia Mohammed. We did a training, a John Maxwell training with medical students. It was 40 plus students. And how do you navigate in a crisis? A medical student, they live in crisis, whether it's a medical emergency. How do you deal with that? And so that John Maxwell course allows you how to pivot, how to navigate in a crisis. How do you stay calm in the midst of a storm? What do you do as a leader? How do you ensure that you don't transfer that fear to your employees? Be honest, but don't allow the fear to overwhelm you to the extent where you are stagnant, right? And that is a John Maxwell course. You get a John Maxwell certificate at the end of that course. It's 2 hours. And all these sessions, so if you're in China or Brazil, all these sessions are Zoom. So they're all virtual. So don't worry about, and especially with this pandemic, everything is Zoom. So the first one is this leadership course, right? 2 hours. That course normally charges, we normally charge $100 US per person. And Dr. Safia and I, we are giving it complimentary. She is going to facilitate with me. And we are just, it's about a desire to give back, right? The second one is a lot of HR practitioners have not evolved. How do you tweak your HR skills for the 21st century? So we have a lot of our people working from home. Do you have a work from home policy in your organization? Do you have, how do you measure productivity if somebody's working from home? Do you have an IT that protects your data? Do you have firewalls? How are you protecting your information? Talking about how do you interview virtually? How do you connect with someone via Zoom? How have you tweaked your selection skills, your interviewing skills? That training goes through all the HR systems for the 21st century. And that again is an hour session that is complimentary. So I go through recruitment and selection, performance management, compensation, training and development, career development for the 21st century. And it's an excellent course. So any employer or employee listening, and you want to get something to retool yourself, and remember it's complimentary. Why pass up something that's complimentary?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's wonderful.
Cheers.
Hello. free is lovely.
It's complimentary. I mean, complimentary sounds better.
I know, yes,
yeah, let's do complimentary.
Yeah, let's complimentary. I
love
it. I love it. I mean, people should be running for this.
That's the thing, and that's my desire, Penny. I have such a burning desire to give back. I just want to ensure that people, I mean, you may not have the budget. A lot of employers, unfortunately, have cut their budget, and unfortunately, training is something that was taken away. How can you pass this up? You are getting training complimentary that you would normally pay for. Yeah? So the third one, a lot of leaders, and you just ask the question, how do I lead with care? What do I need to do? I have developed a 1-hour training and giving you the how. So what I've done in that training, I go through 6 mandates. Care, how do you show care? With action. And remember, care is a verb. It's a doing and a telling word. So what I'm going to share with you leaders is, how do you show care? What do you need to be a caring leader? Penny, a lot of people ask me, Akka, this care thing, it's not something that is going to work.
Right.
Care doesn't mean you become a clown. A lot of people think care and clown.
Means soft.
The only similarity is the same.
Yeah.
Care does not mean you don't hold people accountable. So the second set of mandates is consistency with accountability, right? Leaders, how do you ensure that you apply your policies and procedures consistently? How do you ensure that you hold yourself accountable first? Because leaders, it starts with us.
Yeah.
Many leaders have found, Penny, they say do this, but they don't do it.
Of course,
you can't do that. We have to come across as authentic, and especially if you're dealing with young people. Penny, we cannot lead millennials and say do as I say, but not as I do. Yeah. So that consistency with accountability talks about, how are you consistent as a leader? If you have a policy and procedure, do you show favoritism? Or are you consistent and objective? That is very, very critical, Penny.
Of course.
And accountability, you cannot create a productive work environment if you don't hold persons accountable.
Exactly.
And it's a societal ill as well.
I'm not going to say that's one of my weaknesses as a leader. I mean, because I'm running necessary hours.
Yes.
And sometimes it's hard for me to scold my my employees also, but it's something I have to really work at.
What I will tell you to do, don't use the word scold.
Yeah, well, no.
Right?
So, it's usually children, but sorry.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it's not, what I use in my team is the sandwich approach. So if I have to hold you accountable, I would say, Penny, you know what, you did this well. You came on time, so thank you very much, right? And then I would say, there's one thing I want you to work on. You tell me, what would you change today? So put it back at the person.
Right.
So tell me, if there was one thing you wanted to improve about today, tell me. And so then they talk about it, because when they talk about it, there's ownership, because it's coming from them.
Yes, exactly.
And then, or what has also worked is giving them real scenarios.
Yeah.
Don't just tell somebody, I don't like how you spoke to the person. Say, I observed an interaction that you had with a guest. And you said your tone was this, and this. And then start with that.
Right.
And then at the end of the conversation, end on a high.
Yeah.
Thank you, Penny, so much. I know you could do this. You are amazing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you are amazing.
Yes. No, I mean, I always do that, but it's about holding people accountable. That is my weakness. You know, I have to work on that, If you say you're doing something and you don't do it, I said, okay, all right, that's next time, huh?
Yeah.
That's all.
But the thing about it is that you have heard this saying, if you repetition of the same thing, expecting a different result. Insanity. Right? That's madness. Right?
Yes.
So we have to move away from, okay, and think about a child, Penny. You go to the grocery, and every time you go to the grocery, you go by the snack aisle, the child roll on the ground. I want this. And every time when they roll, you pick up the snack and you give it to them. What will happen? Every time they go to the grocery, they go and drop and roll. They drop it and roll it because they know that's how you get.
That's
how you get a chocolate. But what you have to do as a parent, which I know you do, I'm sure Steve get plenty.
Hello. Yes.
Hi, Steve. Is Steve
around? I don't know if he's there.
Hi, Steve.
Maybe.
So what you have to do is, again, it's explaining, no, you cannot have this chocolate.
Right.
You could only have one snack a day. However, you know, if you do this, this, and this, then you will get that type of thing. But we have to hold everyone accountable.
Yeah.
And nothing is wrong with accountability, because in accountability there's learning.
Of course. Right? I mean, a lot of parents, young parents, need to understand that. I mean, I've seen, and I think that is what is some of our problems going up now. Because you have a lot of young mothers don't know how to talk to their children.
That's the thing.
And just give them their way. Just give them their way.
But how do you feel if I just start to scream at you?
Yeah.
Just quarrel, whole day, whole night. So you never get love. You never get care.
Yeah.
That does not impact behavior positively.
That is not going to make anything better. No, it doesn't. Yeah, definitely.
So it's just about that tone, that consistency with accountability. The last mandate I talk about in the training, right, is competence with the right attitude. I'm not saying you can't be caring and you're not competent, because, you know, it's a job. It's a job, right? So you need to have resilience. You need to be influential. You need to have good communication skills. You need to be creative. You need to be innovative. And these are competencies in this training that I will go through as well.
Nice.
But always remember attitude.
Yeah.
Your attitude, as John Maxwell says,
it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
It's how you do it.
Yeah.
And John Maxwell says, your attitude determines your altitude. So how you communicate, how is your manner, how is your disposition, that determines the altitude of you and your team. Because remember, as a leader, when you go high, your team goes high. I mean, you are a representation of your team, you know. The last training that I did, about a month ago, I had the opportunity to do servant leadership training at Divine Encounter. And it was so well received, and many people were like, okay, I need to get this again. So I did a training course on servant leadership. But it's rooted in the biblical appreciation of what servant leadership is. Speaking about, you know, who's the ultimate servant leader? That will be Jesus. You know, how he treated people with care, with love. Look how many things that Jesus went through.
And some would say, and they still put him on a cross.
And they still, you know what I mean? And he said, you know what? Father, if it is your will, that's it. It is finished. Yeah? So those are the 4 training courses, Penny, that I have gone through, and I want to offer to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is an opportunity for you to just be empowered and tooled and equipped to be the best version of yourself. Yeah, so I really want everyone who is listening right now, just, I have this passion and desire, and that's from Mommy.
Yes.
Just for people.
Was,
oh my gosh. People.
Myron really loves people. Myron will be talking really like to the vagrant on the street, and she know their name.
I know.
She know the history. You know him? Yeah, you know, love. And his mother used to be this. Okay, right. Okay, it's amazing.
That was Mommy. That's so true. You know how many times, Mommy, we driving and Mommy stop and she reach in the back and she always had a sandwich or some biscuit and she always stop it. And Akka, give this to this man. I mean, and sometimes you're walking with your friends and these people, hi Akka, and you're like, oh my goodness. You know when you're like 16, you don't really want people to you know what I mean, you know? But that was Mommy. Mommy stopping talking to everybody, Penny. You know that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Mine was a people person. I mean, she was, and she had this voice. Bold and you know, she had a presence.
Absolutely.
You know, when Myron come in the room, you know, I mean, talking to Wendell, Wendell Manwaring and Roger Roberts, we used to line, we were so tight long time, you know.
Hi Wendell.
Yes, they would.
Hi Wendell, if you're there.
They loved Myron and she was always there as like a counselor. You know, could always go to Myron.
Does he teach you now?
For advice.
She couldn't. She always wanted to deposit. Mommy was a real giver. She would give her mind. If you call them, oh my God, children, her students. Mommy on the phone helping children with their homework.
Yeah.
Who coming over?
And then she had a way about teaching history. People
oh my
used to tell
gosh,
me.
boy.
She was like the best history teacher in the world, people would say.
But
you know?
I tell you, teaching, I remember when mommy is, let's just say she's doing Christopher Columbus, right?
Yeah.
I seen mommy doing props, all kind of thing. So I'm like, mommy, what's going on? What you doing? Well, I'm going to teach about Christopher Columbus and he, you know, he discovered, so mommy make a hat, mommy make a boat, and I'm like, what's going on? She talking about Indian arrival, she built the Fata Razak.
Right, exactly. She would go all out.
And that's just how she was all the time.
Yeah,
and I think that's why the children loved her so much, you know.
Yeah, because she made teaching a joy. You want to go to Miss Ali class. And the students would always tell me that. And then she brought back drama to Holy Name.
Yeah.
I mean, that drama class, they really missed her.
I know.
And then they had, I remember before the last year of drama there, the boys and the girls joined up, and it was like, it was fabulous. So she asked me to come and look at her work and things.
Yeah.
You know, she always, you know, she had confidence, but she always wanted our advice. What you think? She always would ask, what you think, what I could do, what I could do better, you know, and that's the humility.
That's the humility that mommy had. She just always thought there was someone who could give advice. Every day was an opportunity for mommy to learn and to grow and you know, and that's how I have been able to become who I am. Mommy always said, I see you working in some big multinational in HR, head of HR. I'm like, mommy, I'm working in TSTT. Give my chance, please. You know, TSTT, cradle to grave. I could. And one of my girlfriends, Alicia, I don't know if you're listening, Alicia Kwaku, she saw this ad. She says, Aka Hyatt is looking for HR director. So I came home and I spoke to my husband, and we're like, okay. And Penny, over 100 people applied for that position throughout the world.
Serious.
And I got it. And I'm like, I remember just like, wow, God, seriously?
Wow.
What made me sad though is that it was 2 years after mommy passed, because I got the job in 2011, you know, and I was like, oh, but when I got it, I remember what mommy said. You know, and I'm like, okay, mommy, you planted a seed, fertile ground. Okay, all right, here I am. And it's just been amazing. I have just been so blessed. You know?
I always think my room working overtime for both of you all.
Boy.
I mean, you all been successful. You know, and you know, I want to get closer with Ola sometimes, but the boy is so busy.
I know, right?
But, you know, but I'm so proud of him though. He's handling his story.
So well.
He's handling his story. I mean, he has his ups and downs, you know. But he's handling his story, and I'm sure his mother is so proud of him as well.
But
you know?
I remember when he was on what was it in London? Not
the show, the singing show.
Not
somebody I'm sure going to write it.
Yes,
now.
what is it?
America, no, India Got Talent.
No,
was it,
what was it?
I
can't remember.
Show. Yes,
with in London.
Yes. London.
It's gonna come back. Somebody's gonna tell us what it is that he was in. Anyway, or even Ola put in the name of the competition that you entered in London. Yes. Anyway, so when he called me, X Factor, woohoo!
Thank you.
X Factor, Jesus, wait. And you know when he called me and said, sis, you know, I'm going to do this thing. I think he told me over 80,000 people sent in their DVD, and then he got down to the top 16. I was like, oh my God, if mommy was here, she would have taken a flight. She would have booked a whole flight.
Of course.
You,
everybody cried, Black Posse.
Penny, Nikki, Wendell, Richard, everybody would have been going to London. You know, because I mean, just proud, just like I'm really, really proud. I remember like when he won
Soca Monarch. Yeah, we know that one.
Ooh, that one I know, Soca Monarch.
Yes.
That was like amazing. You know, how he was able to just put out his best, and look who he spoke about.
Yeah.
He sang a whole song about Ola.
Yeah. About
Yeah. Ola, 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 Ola.
No, but the song for the one he won for Soca Monarch. That was the one to his mother too, though. I think that one was his
Well, was Ola.
It was Ola too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ola was the one that he won.
Yeah.
When he sang Ola.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting a little young, so.
Oh yes, say that.
Yes.
Say that.
Yes.
So just going back to the book,
Yeah.
and really, I just want, and Penny and I just want to appeal to each person that is on this Facebook Live today. This is an opportunity for me to give back. This is an opportunity for me to pour in to everyone, whether you're in Trinidad and Tobago or whether you are
in the region
or in the world.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity. The Master Guide to Leadership Through the Lens of Care is a book that you can just sit as a supplement. If you're in school.
Yeah.
I actually had a young man in UE. Yeah.
Yes, I had asked about him, yeah.
Jabari Superville. Jabari, if you're listening, hi. Jabari read the book and he said, Akka, it was one of the easiest books that I ever read. He said, I am inundated with jargon and theory. This book broke it down so I could just apply it.
Nice.
And you know, and that's what I want. It's not a typical leadership book.
Yeah.
It's not this what you have to do and get a dictionary. This is 20 years of my experience.
Right.
I just poured in. I'm like, this is what I do. This is how it works.
How long it took you to write it? Sorry.
So, that's a great question. So, I told Ola actually, 3 years ago, Pastor Joseph came in, standing right there, blessed the house. He said, Akka, you have a book inside of you. Sounds like a book. I'm like, I'm not an author. I'm like, okay. But you know, being respectful as I am.
Yes.
Like, okay, Pastor Joseph. So, and I would continue doing guest lecturing at IOB or other institutions, training with ECA. And then last year, someone was asking me my opinion about productivity and how do I ensure Hyatt is so engaged and they always have such a great experience. So I was sharing with them what we do at Hyatt, and she said, you should write a book. So I'm like, oh my God, this book thing again is coming up, oh Lord.
Nice.
And April last year, I just started. So how I started, right, and that was another drama. I'm like, I have no time, I don't have no time to write a book. So my girlfriend Cindy said, Akka, record it and I will transcribe it.
Nice.
And that's how I did my book.
Serious.
So every day I will come into work and or after church and I will just record.
Right.
And it's just like, and she would transcribe it months.
Really?
And that's how I wrote my book. So I actually taught my book.
Nice.
I not wrote my book.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Cindy, if you're listening. So that is how the book came about. So we have a question from Enyala. Hi Enyala, how are you? Thank you for listening.
Enyala, that's a wonderful name. Wow.
Yeah. Beautiful young lady. She was actually part of my team in Hyatt.
Right.
Excellent, beautiful young lady. So Enyala, what motivates me? Me adding value to people. When someone says thank you, that's what motivates me. When someone says, Akka, you helped me, that's what motivates me. Anybody on my team, I don't know if they're on right now, presently, and people like, Akka, I want to buy you something. I said, you don't have to buy me anything. You just say thank you and let me see you grow.
Of course.
And that is what motivates me.
Yeah.
You go high, I am motivated because I know I influenced you.
Yes, you're responsible
positively.
for that. Yeah, good,
and that's another thing. And then Yana, thank you for raising that. A lot of leaders have this fear factor that if I give you too much knowledge, you'll be better than me.
Yeah. Yep.
That's okay. But what an accomplishment if I've given you so much that you get better than me.
Yeah, you've grown. Yeah.
That is amazing as a leader.
Of course.
And that I have so many persons who were under me and have grown. They've been promoted to other properties, they're in other organizations, and they still call me for advice.
Yes.
And that says a lot. Leaders, if you get to the place where persons who are working with you on your team, or persons who move to another organization, and they still call you for advice or thank you, then that is the type of accolade that you want. That people appreciate you, and just think about it. You are like water on them, and they receive. And the knowledge that you share is the water. You just continue to pour and pour, and then they flourish.
And see, the thing about it too, you understand that your reward is not here on earth. Yes.
Oh my God, Penny, you're talking like, you know.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
It's not about this.
This is not, I just want to hear well done. Well done, my good and faithful servant. That, when I hear that, I'm like, yes, Lord.
Yes.
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
All me giving back, me being the impetus for you pushing and being the best version of yourself. That to me is fantastic. And that is what I want to do, you know? So continue to put in your questions, any concerns that you have, anything that you want me to clarify right now, just like Inyala did. Thank you very much, Inyala. You are amazing. Thank you very much for tuning in, and everyone who is on this live right now. Penny, say hi.
Hi. Hi.
Penny, when Ola was with me, right? Just sharing, just advice. Ola was getting up, you know, and he was going in and coming back out. So just putting it out there in the universe, right? So Ola was a
These knees.
Ola was a little bit more animated.
I'm sure. I am quite sure. I am quite sure.
Oh my gosh. Another question that was asked of me is, Aka, why are you giving these training sessions complimentary while you could get more money? I'm like, sometimes it is not about the money.
The money, of course. Of course.
Penny, it cannot always be about the money.
Well, not all the time. But
that's what I said, all the time. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, yes. But on a serious note, though, if I could get every employer in Trinidad to get this training, complimentary,
we would grow as a country.
Thank you.
Can you imagine?
Finally.
That is amazing. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Nikki.
Finally. You can hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, but we're not seeing you.
Oh, you're seeing me?
Yeah, but you're not seeing me. Us. There you go.
Right, you're seeing everybody now.
Yay!
Hi, Penny. Oh my gosh, 45 minutes to get in. The show's so hot, I can't get in.
So, Nikki, thank you very much. Viewers, Nikki is finally here. That's okay. The next time we do a live, Nikki will be in my house.
Yes.
But Nikki,
I didn't know I had wine. I'll be there for sure.
For sure. Thank you very much, Nikki, for joining. I don't know if you listened to Penny and I.
I saw the whole show. I saw the whole show, and I know for sure Myron's going to pull my foot because I didn't get to make it live. But I know she would be so proud of you. Penny, I'm sitting here in amazement listening to Aka because Aka was never a talker. And for the majority of the show, she talks. I'm like, wait, Penny, quiet. But we are so proud of you, Aka. When you first told me about the book, of course, the first person I thought about was Myron. She would be so proud of you, just the way, I mean, you're like our daughter, Penny and my daughter, and when we see you, it's like a little mini Myron. I'm just so proud of you, Aka. I mean, I think this is a book, because when I first saw it, Aka said, you order a book yet? And I said, well, I don't really need that. That's more for corporate. But then I thought, no, this is, if you interact with anyone, if you teach, if you mentor, and that's what Penny and I do, and I think this is an excellent book for anyone, just to get through life, you know what I mean? And it's about, and I noticed you said earlier that, sometimes I remember talking to a huge owner of a business in Trinidad, and he was having a problem with service. and he is saying, you know, sometimes it's hard to get people just to say good morning because they don't say good morning in their own homes. And sometimes you have to start from scratch to kind of to build the kind of employee you want, you know. And sometimes you really have to invest in the employees as a manager, as a HR. You have to really understand everybody's story. Everybody's story is not the same. And I think a book like this would definitely help anyone who's any kind of position, any supervisor kind of position, or somebody who aims to be a leader. I think that, it's not just for leaders. It's just a book if you know you want to improve in your career, etc. So we're encouraging everyone to go out, support our own, you know, because we would go in our Barnes and Nobles and pick up 5, 6 of these books. You know what I mean? And we have the talent right here. So Akka, we're just so proud of you. I'm like in amazement. Like, look at my girl. And I'm positive Mommy has been guiding you, and she's right here with us right now. So hi, Myroon.
Thank you. I know you heard, but I was saying I could not go through this without talking to you and Penny, because if Mommy were here, she would be right here, and we would be talking together. And I am just standing in the gap right now.
She'll be in the airport selling books. She will think, oh, come on, I'm Joe.
Like, what's his name? Oh, God. I can see her now in the airport.
And, you know, it's just like you know, when people ask me, where did I get this love and this passion for people? It's Mom.
Is your mother?
Yeah.
She loved everyone, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it started from Granny and then Mommy, and it's just who I am. Penny asked me earlier, how was I before? This is who I am.
As a leader,
yeah. Like, I have always just treated people how I like to be treated.
Exactly. It kind of comes down from your generation, you know, and it's important for us to keep sharing because when we think of our grandparents, and so as you say, you couldn't walk in and don't have no manners and things like that, and those are the kind of basic things we kind of missing as a society, and it's important to keep the foundation and for us to grow as a society. We can't go back. We have to keep moving forward, and it's the foundation that keeps moving us forward. So I know in the book there's a lot of foundation there, a lot of foundation.
It is, and it's just really been a rewarding experience for me. As I was telling Penny before, I've been getting a lot of love, a lot of support from persons. We got over 1,000 persons on our page in a month. That is an accomplishment.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
That we actually went live, and it was something that Safia was like, "Akka, you could do it." And I'm like, Safia, my Facebook page is private. What are you talking about? 1,000 people? You know, like that's not me.
So there's definitely a market for it, you know, and hopefully we can keep growing it. I heard you talk about the classes and the bonus and stuff, but I think it's something that you should continue even after the launch, because that's the way the world is now, you know. The world has changed. COVID has changed. There's not a business plan in the world that could have prepared us for COVID. You know, all the study and all the business planners, all the business marketing, HR, there's no one in the world could have predicted what the world went going through. And I think it's a time for us, especially as leaders, to look at the world differently, and how we, because as you said, so many people working from home, and you know, business models have changed. So a book like this would really, you know, what COVID has done too, it's kind of made us think outside the box. You know, in terms of entertainment, Penny and I have really pushed, you know, we've had to push the box. And COVID has also made us realize we were comfortable. Whatever part of life we were very comfortable. We were comfortable in jobs. We were comfortable in how we partied, how we go out, socialize. And that comfort level has cut. So we now have to regroup. We now have to rethink and unlearn stuff. We have to unlearn, and I think now is a good time, especially from a business point of view, to unlearn and see how do we move forward in 2021. So I think your book is here at the right time.
Yes, thank you so much. And you know, persons are saying, after you could have self-published. I know I could, but what I want to do with this book, I want this book to reach the ends of the world. Literally, I'm going through publicizer.com, which is where you go to pre-order the book, allows me to get an international publisher. And
awesome.
That for me, as a local leader, that augurs well for traction. So that is why I went this route. And it's only with your support that this will actualize. Right now, I actually got 3 publishers that are interested in the book. However,
international publishers, right?
However, the more pre-orders I get, the better qualified and competent the publisher will be. So
well, I was trying to claim a credit card, but I'm going to order this week, okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much. You need
they wasn't accepting it before, but now what, by next week when I clear it, they should accept the low $25.
Thank you, Nikki. And because I know you and I love you, if the credit card isn't clear, drop the money for me in work or at home and I will pre-order it for you. Okay?
All right, thanks. Thanks, Penny. Thanks.
Hi, Tobago, Karen Murphy.
Yes. Hi, Karen. Hi, Tobago.
My credit card is going share again.
Most of you all know, or maybe you didn't know, my husband is from Tobago, so everyone on this Facebook Live from Tobago, a special, absolute shout out to you. I am actually going to retire in Tobago, just FYI.
Very nice.
You know,
Me too.
You too, so we will be there. Yes, in Tobago. So
hi.
That was Mommy's dream.
So, Mommy always said she wanted
all of us. We said we'd be neighbors and we could borrow sugar. And
yeah, like, with no offense, just love. So
love.
Family, thank you very much for your support. Nikki, you mentioned something earlier with how businesses have evolved and how this pandemic, you have to literally, there's no box, you actually have to throw down the box because you have to be so creative and innovative. How do you think this book, as an entertainer, will help you as we navigate through this crisis with care? How do you think that can help you in your...
Well, we Penny and I, we own our businesses. Yeah. We produce, Penny teaches, and I think it's just a book in terms of not only, but how to deal with people. How to deal with people, especially in this new world, as we said. How do you, as a leader, as a business owner, how do you grade people on their work when you say, we're working from home, these kind of things. So I think this is definitely a book that could take anyone, any kind of business, any kind of interaction with people. It's a book like this that we need to move forward in. How do we open our eyes? How do we see it through the lens of care? You know what I mean? When you care, that was a lesson I learned from my grandfather, and I grew up in the midst of rum shops. I grew up in St. James, opposite Smokey and Bunty, opposite the college. The one next to me, I was in the Crosby's was in the middle of rum shops, and every morning going to school, I'd always have a rummy on the corner, while my grandfather would walk me to school going, "Morning, Mr. Crosby, morning." That's how I grew up, every morning. And I remember my grandfather always saying good morning to everyone. Everyone. And I remember asking him, "Daddy, why are you talking to that old stinky rummy man, what I mean?" Because that's, first thing in the morning. And he remember telling him, I remember him telling me that you treat everybody with love and respect, no matter who they are. And I think that is what this book also tells us. Respect kind of works both ways. Communication is not effective until it's understood by both people and communicated. And this is what we need. Also kind of reaffirmation of what we're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? Let's do this. This is the correct way to do it. I like to use the word unlearn plenty, because as a society, we have learned so many wrong things, and it's time, especially for the next generation, to pass on to Malika and those others, that the next generation, we also teach them the right thing. So hopefully we can unlearn through this book, I mean, some of the righter things we should be doing, and hopefully pass it on to the next generation, the millennials. What is the right thing to do versus what is the wrong thing to do?
Correct.
I think that principals should really try to get this book for their schools.
Exactly.
Because we have a lot of leaders out there. All those teachers in a school are leaders. Those are the teachers and the children going to be following. So it's really good if the principals and schools could buy this book for their teachers. And employees, because I mean, I had this experience once. I was going into a business place, and I'm coming out of the car park, and there's a security by the car park. But like the owner of the business place was coming, and I don't know, he didn't get his part, but he lambasted the security. It was so humiliating. I felt for the guy, and I'm saying, why? I wanted to tell something. I wanted to, and I'm wondering, I wonder if he would come back out and apologize to the security guard, boy. It was so obvious that I'm higher than you, and I don't want to hear your mouth. And he berated the man. It was sad. It was sad.
And my book talks about that. It's how you have to show respect. And you being a leader, even more so, because you in a position to influence others. According to John Maxwell, he says, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So as a leader, you have the ability to influence. Why not influence for good?
And the thing about it is just about being a human.
Just be a human. That's all it is, being human. I learned something recently in Google's work contract. One of the lines is, "Don't be an evil person." That's all. One of the lines in the contract. Don't be an evil person. And the book.
And the thing about it, because people have rough days. Sometimes you have a rough day, and you might lash out at the employees, but it's no what. Go back and apologize. Go back and apologize.
I talk about that because for instance, when Auntie Colleen passed away on the 12th of July, I had some rough days, but you know what I did? When I went to work, I told them, I said, guys, I'm really not feeling myself. So if I'm not in a place where you are accustomed, I just wanted to let you know why. Just talk to them.
Exactly.
Just talk to your team.
Like human beings.
Remember what I said before, communication. Communication is so important in any relationship, be it a marriage, be it a boyfriend, girlfriend, friendships. And many times we miscommunicated. Texting don't help. Sometimes in texting is the perfect example. Sometimes you send a text that has a tone, the other person didn't have a tone, and sometimes texting can be so inhuman, meaning that it's almost like they literally turning us into robots, meaning social media, everything is such all illusions, and sometimes the heart of everything is being missed. I'm one that definitely feel that there are a lot of pros and cons to social media, that's one of the things, that kind of human touch that we miss. So I believe in any form of relationship, the communication has to be there. It has to be effective for anything to work. It's just like my marriage. If I'm not communicating effectively with my husband, and he vice versa, we will have problems. We will. I thought he meant so, but he didn't really mean so, and problems. So it applies to business too.
Absolutely. And the book talks about communication. I go through an entire chapter talking about how you communicate, how you use your words, what's your tone, what's your pitch, how do you ensure that the message is conveyed. Did you paraphrase? Did you engage in active listening? Were you nodding? Sometimes you talk to somebody and they're stoic. They don't blink. So you don't know.
That happened with my husband plenty times. As no one in a I know you don't just hear nothing I say. I mean, yes, no.
I died. But no, seriously though, how do you go through an entire conversation?
Oh,
Somebody comes in.
My baby wants to come up.
Oh,
He's fighting to come up.
You know, as leaders, somebody comes into your office and they're pouring their heart out, and you're looking at them like,
yep.
What is that? How do you make that authentic connection? How do you empathize? And those things are so critical for leaders. And this book, The Master Guide to Leadership Through the Lens of Care, I also share these examples. How do you engage in active listening? What is that like? And
I wanted to flip it on you, Akka. I wanted to ask you, what happens though when you're an employee, you have all this ambition, you want to be the best that you could be, but you don't have a leader who is using your talent, using you to the best of the ability, you feel stuck. How do you deal with it when it's reversed?
Yes, and that's an excellent question, Nikki. If you are in an organization where you are not able to assume your full potential, then you have to make some decisions. You need to retool, you need to reskill, you need to look for another employer. At the end of the day, you have to get to the place where you are happiest and most productive. What has also worked as well, even if you feel stagnated, then find a mentor even outside of your workplace, because then that person could be the influence that you need. Sometimes your growth and your joy and fulfillment comes outside of where you work. You could go to whether it's through an NGO or you work with a church or give back. If you feel stagnated, and I always tell people, especially now, do not leave a job until you find a job.
Yeah. Definitely.
So please, everyone listening to me,
That's good advice.
leave a job until you find a job, okay? And just make the best of it. Be the best version of yourself. Let never the employer say that you are not being productive. You make the best of it. You tap into your potential. You be the best. You show care. And the fruits of your labor, you will always get it. And that's how the world works. The world works like that. Is in giving that you receive. What you give out, you will get in return.
Exactly.
It may not be now, but plant those seeds of positivity. Plant it. It will grow. Yeah?
Definitely. Yeah. That's why you need to get the book.
Some employees should buy this book and give to their bosses. Yeah,
that's a good idea. Boss, I bought this book for you. It's about leadership and continuing with care.
They can give it as a secret gift or something, but because that security guard needs to buy that book for his.
Yeah, I'm just passionate. Yeah. So just to share with you, so what will happen? We are doing an actual book launch. Tentatively, the date is the 2nd of May, which will be in Trinidad. Because I know a lot of persons, unfortunately, don't have a credit card. So you will get the opportunity to purchase the book in Trinidad. We are doing the book launch on the 2nd of May. So stay tuned for that. But right now, the focus is me getting an international publisher, which is why I need 500 pre-orders by the 15th of April. Okay? So that's just a couple of days. What I want you to do right now, Nikki, Penny, with me, go to publicizer.com. That's publishizer.com. Type in the title of my book, The Master Guide to Leadership Through the Lens of Care, and pre-order the book. Pre-order the book right now. This value proposition, the bonuses that you are going to get, as Penny and I just spoke about, these 4 training sessions that you will get, that are complimentary, that normally you would have to pay for. Employers, you are getting training complimentary to give back to your teams. This opportunity is one that's in a lifetime.
Yes,
because after the 15th, when you purchase the book, you will get the book. That's it. now is the time to pre-order. You are going to get training that costs hundreds and sometimes thousands of dollars. But I just want to give back. That's my passion and my desire.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So help give back.
Help
share.
Share, yes. Share. So we have a little prize, right? So anybody who shares this live, the most amount of shares, anyone who does it, Penny, show them what they're gonna get.
Where that boy?
Go close, Penny.
Ooh, ice edition.
Nice.
Ice edition. Bubbly.
Ooh, bubbly.
What's that boy?
Thank you very much
Janet?
for donating this. This is just Sophia says no, so I take it back. Reverse. Thank you very much for this token. Whoever donated it. Angostura, thank you very much, Angostura, for donating this token. We really appreciate it. But really, it's just about getting the word out there. Seriously, I really just want to give back. I am so passionate about this. I can't tell you how much I just want to just give people my 20 years. You do not have to go through the mistakes that I made. This book says this is what has worked. When Fazir was interviewing me, he said, Aka, you know, there's some people who want to go through their own pain and they want to go through their own experiences. I told him, do you have to get in an accident to put on your seatbelt? No. Put on your seatbelt. Protect yourself. You don't have to get a head-on collision to realize that the seatbelt is the best. You don't have to go through all the different permutations that I did. This book says this is what works. Yes, you tweak it to your culture and your environment, but this is your guiding principle. Care works. We're dealing with people. You have to love people to lead people.
Yeah,
you have to.
I agree with that. You have to love people. You know, some people get into jobs, etc., and you know they have the qualifications, but you may not have the personal qualifications to deal with people. Yeah. And I think this book will really help you to lead your team with the best of your ability. I mean, as a leader, I would want to get this because I want to lead my team to be the best they could be out there. And especially in these COVID times where competition is stiff, you know, many businesses have failed. Many small businesses have closed doors. And, you know, it's a time we have to be competitive and you have to have the edge on everybody. So getting a book like this will really, you know, help push you into the next 20 years.
Yeah.
A good reference that you could, you know, go
and it's easy reading.
Yeah.
It's easy reading.
It's
not complicated. And that's why I made sure that I did not use a lot of jargon because there's enough out there. It's
enough.
This is what you do. This is what has happened. This is the outcome. And I have the pleasure of working for multinational where their policies and procedures have allowed me to advance, but I have shared it with you because it's about giving back. This is all about giving back. Giving back. So, I mean, I know we're just about in an hour. Yeah, wow. So, I don't know, any closing comments, Nikki? Well, I know you came on.
I was desperate. I just want to encourage people to pre-order. Let's support our own. As I said, you know, we like to think everything we get international is the best, but no, this is really leadership through the lens of caring, you know, and that is something we in the Caribbean, we have that in us. We are people that love. Penny and I always trying to bring back the love in people's hearts through laughter, and I think this is also a way to kind of to boost your self-esteem, boost your hiring powers, boost your business powers, and we could all do this. We could all just be better human beings. We could all improve. We could all keep learning, and this is definitely a book that's gonna take us through, as I said, for the next 20 years again.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Thank you, Nikki.
Yes. Cindy, Edwards had a question.
Oh, Cindy. Thank you very much. Cindy wants to know what's next for me after the launch. For me, it's just continuing to give. I am going to continue to share. I'm going to continue to share my knowledge. I'm going to continue to do guest lectures at all the different institutions. I will continue to do training at the ECA. I will continue to do training at the Chamber of Commerce. Customer service, for me, I am so passionate. We are such warm people, Penny. All we just need is an environment that propels us to be the best version of ourselves. And that's a training that I facilitate a lot. Customer service. And it starts with good morning.
Yeah.
And it starts with care. As we care for people so they can be their best. Penny, any last?
I really I understand why you did this, and I feel your mother's energy. You know, when you told me to come on, I was like a little nostalgic and like sentimental.
I know.
But I feel good. I feel empowered. I feel good for you. I'm so happy that you're doing this.
Thank you.
And I really, really hope that people understand the importance of this book. And it's not only for leaders, the single mothers, the teachers, the KFC worker, the Royal Castle, whatever. Anybody could read this book and gain something from it.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
You know, you tell your friend about it, and your friend will tell another friend, and that's how we can make that 500 pre-orders before the 15th.
Yes. So thank you so much. Thank you. We have 4 days, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 11th. The 15th is on Thursday. So what I need you to do right now for me.
25 US.
25 US, 170 TT dollars. And that includes shipping and handling and the complimentary bonus, training bonus.
Definitely.
That is, I mean, that's not even a steal of a deal. That is just value. A value proposition that you should never pass up. So again, go to publicizer.com and then you type in the title of my book, The Master Guide to Leadership, through the lens of care. Through the lens of care, not Claire.
Yeah, care.
Care.
It's
care.
care now.
It's clear now that it's care.
Yeah.
That wine strong boy. Woo!
The slip of the tongue is no fault of the mind. Through the lens of care.
Oh, she sound like her mother there.
There you go.
Yes.
My room, DNA. And click on the pre-order and pre-order the book. And really do not let this opportunity pass you by. Do not say I woulda, shoulda, coulda. Do it now.
Yes.
Do it now. Get this value proposition. Get this book. And so that you could be the best version of yourself. And as we close, I always love to close with this quote from John Maxwell. Leaders, people do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Let that sink in, and it's the truth. People do not care how much you know as a leader until they know how much you care about them as people. People first in everything that you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikki, for coming in. Thank you for your patience. And thank you very much. Thank you very much for my husband. Thank you very much for Dr. Mohammed, who is behind the scenes, making sure this happened. Thank you for all of your support.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Spread the word.
So you can get Penny, show them that lovely token again. So the person who shares the most, you will get this token and we will reach out to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's be caring leaders.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.